art of not giving a F, you know, talking about prioritizing the things that you say yes to, and just, you know, making sure that you're dedicating your time to the things that are of your best interest. So if you're looking for more inspiration along those lines, anybody on the call is welcome to join our book club, and you can find more information about that on our website.
Sounds great.
Thanks, Sarah. We have time for one more. Any takers? Okay, thank you, Carrie. That was wonderful. We will definitely not think too highly of ourselves and make sure that we are taking care of those around us. That was a great, great, great inspirational tip. So now we will go on to our next panelist, Deborah May.
Hi, good morning, everybody. I am in the PMA book club, and I'm generally not a book reader, but because of the book club, I've kind of forced myself to kind of take the time to read both books, and both of them are really good. And I was definitely inspired by both of them. But what I wanted to talk about today is more how I've been inspired, how the evolution of video calls and meetings have changed our lives. In March, you know, when this pandemic started, I think we were all shocked. We really didn't have any time to really prepare on how we were going to continue to do business and keep your properties open, and as vendors be able to, you know, help our clients. So immediately that week, our team started doing Google Hangouts. And I was, you know, really annoyed by them. One, you know, I can't stand internal meetings, but don't tell my boss that. But I'm also one who doesn't like videos. I don't like being on video, and I've had to come to a better comfort level with those. And it was also kind of weird that, you know, you're doing these videos at home, you're having your coworkers and clients and, you know, in your living room. So I created this great backdrop. Otherwise, you might see my husband making coffee in the background in the kitchen. But, you know, once the Zoom videos took off and videos started to become a norm, like I said, I got my comfort level. And I've gotten to the point now I'm finding that clients and, you know, all the industry meetings, it's just such a great way to stay connected. You know, it used to be when you had, you know, conference calls, you call in and you really didn't know who was on. You really couldn't put that personal face. So there's a lot of benefits to the video calls. It really can get that personal connection. You know, we've had some PMA board meetings, and before when they were conference calls, I felt like we were all talking over each other. And with the video, you can kind of see when somebody's starting and finishing talking, so you can have a better conversation. And the fact that you can instantly, you know, share an agenda or share a video or share a website if needed is great. And the other option, there are some people who don't feel comfortable showing their face, or, you know, just might have other things going on. So you have the choice if you want to join by video or chat. I was on one the other day with the local Chamber of Commerce. I'm an ambassador for the Howard County Chamber of Commerce. And this girl was doing a video. She was on our thing while she was driving. And then she's trying to chat our settings to unmute it so she could talk. And then she instantly like went away. We all thought she crashed. So I don't recommend, if you're going to be driving, it's okay to call in. You don't have to show your video. Another benefit of them is a lot of them can be recorded. So if you have a coworker, or if you missed one, you can ask for it to be shared with you. I really like the function that I know that Zoom does it, where you can actually have breakout meetings. So you can really kind of, you know, break people up. They can talk about different things. So when there is 100, 200 people on the call, there is still some personalization. You know, at first I felt funny inviting clients onto video calls, and I didn't think they would be accepted. And I recently had a call with a new client. First time I met with her, she was a VP of operations of a company. And, you know, she's there in her leggings and her t-shirt, her beautiful golden retrievers in the background barking. And it was Norm, and it just really made it, you know, so comfortable. You know, so there are some downfalls as well is, I don't know if you realize it, but some of these calls that the presenter can actually tell how engaged you are. So if you're on a call and you're down and you're checking your emails, and they can see the percentage of how engaged you are. You probably didn't know that with some of them. So it really makes it harder to multitask, which I like to do sometimes. I'm always getting busted on the internal meetings. And also it's kind of a downfall as if you have to leave a meeting, you know, if you're on a conference call and you just kind of hang up, nobody really knows it, but if they see your face disappear. So, but I think there's definitely a lot more benefits to the video calls. And again, I've become more selective. There's so many to choose from. I think, you know, when people say a Zoom call, you know, it might be a go-to meeting, it might be a Google Hangout. And I think just Zoom has been kind of like, hey, I'm going to Google it. But you might be looking it up on Yahoo or Bing or something else. But it's really become a norm. But I personally I like using Google Hangouts. What's great about that is if you use a Google Calendar, you literally can connect and say you want to make it a Google Hangout. You don't have to go in and copy and paste stuff from Zoom or GoToMeetings into the invite. It's all kind of right there. And they also don't have to download the software for Zoom to do it the first time. So if it's somebody who's not used to it, they hit the link and they're right there. So I know I've just been kind of inspired again. It wasn't something I was comfortable with, but I think we've all it's become the norm. And I think for some of us, it's become the norm that you have 5 of them a day. But that's been my inspiration, how we can all kind of still stay connected and see each other.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Deborah. Connection is definitely key, and we are truly grateful for the platform as we're using this platform right now so that we can all share these inspirational times of motivation. Is there anyone that would like to share or ask Deborah May any questions at this time? Okay, thank you. Thank you, Deborah. We really appreciate your inspiration. Next up, we have Peter Larson, who is also a part of the board of directors, and he is the secretary treasurer.
Morning, everybody. So despite all the craziness in the world today, I think if you pay attention, you can find many things that are inspiring. When I was thinking about what I was going to speak to you about today, I had a few ideas, but I kept circling back to my company, Horning Brothers, both our ownership and the teams. From an ownership perspective, it's been really wonderful to see the genuine concern for our teams and our residents. The Horning family has been really understanding and accommodating. When the pandemic started, like most of you, we had 3 calls a day, three calls a week, not 3 calls a day, to discuss policies, procedures, how are we going to react to COVID. And our chairman, Joe Horning III, he was actively participating in these calls each week. The Horning family was even concerned about the education and had been brainstorming with us on ways to help children have access to internet and computers, because there were they were finding out that so many of the kids in different sections of the city didn't have access to the computers to do distance learning. So we've been actively trying to find ways, and we actually came up with a solution with Comcast. So also, as many of you are aware, they donated $100,000 to Martha's Table to help with groceries in Ward 8. And not only were they purchasing this food for 16 weeks, our teams were going to help deliver this food to the residents. And I know as this pandemic started, everybody had different comfort levels with the virus. And, we were pretty nervous when this started. And, our teams took the proper precautions and began delivering the food to the doors of residents every Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. It's been really great to see our teams come together to make this happen. It was really inspiring to see the residents too. It's heartwarming when you have a resident sit there at their door and with tears in their eyes as you're dropping off a food bag that helps them get through the week. After several weeks of the food distribution, it did become a little bit burdensome for our team. So we even reached out to volunteers from the industry, and it was amazing to see how many people volunteered to help us. And many of them were on our call today. I'm looking at Carrie. Thank you. And I don't want to leave anybody out, so I'm not going to name everybody, but several of the people here on this call helped us. We even had people bring their kids. One of our managers has a 14-year-old daughter, and she came out and helped us distribute food. And it was so impressive that this young, new high schooler, she was working as hard as any of the adults, and busted her butt to get food to all the doors. So I was really inspired by that as well. For me, this whole food distribution experience has been really rewarding. I think for our teams, and hopefully for some of those that have helped, it's also been inspiring for you. I'm actually headed there after this call to help deliver food today. So, but that's what came to mind when I was thinking about inspiring events from this pandemic. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Peter, as that is very, very important. I actually have a question for you. When you all presented this opportunity to your team, what were some of the comments that you've experienced or that you heard expressed during this time? Because everyone is affected by this. So what did that look like from your team's perspective?
Honestly, I was really impressed. I mean, our teams there wasn't a lot of negativity. We didn't make people, look, if people didn't want to do it, they didn't have to. And we had, 20 people show up for the first food distribution. And for those of you that have participated, it goes pretty quick, obviously, with the more people you have. And it was impressive. I mean, I was scared, I'll be honest. I mean, in March, we didn't know what, we thinking this virus is just floating around us. And I'm like, I don't want to go out there. And, but then I see my teams, I'm like, I can't, I'm not going to let them participate and not be out there with them. So I went out, you start to get a little bit more conscious of how to be safe. And we took all the proper precautions and such. But I was impressed that our teams were really, we haven't had any issues, knock on wood, and it's been great.
Awesome. Are you all currently accepting donations or anything like that? Or I know you have some partnerships going. So if people are interested and they've heard what you all are doing and they want to participate, would you mind sharing how they could further along aid?
Yeah, there's really, we're not looking for donations, monetary donations. If anybody wants to donate their time, we only have a couple weeks left. We're on our last 3 weeks this week. And then 2 more weeks following. I believe I'm correct in saying that. So if you'd like to help, you can reach out to me. I think my email is readily available. It's plarson, LARSON @morningbrothers.com. And I'll get you in touch with, Cindy Holtzapfel, who's been spearheading this effort.
I believe the 22nd is the last day. I could be wrong, but
You may be right, Carrie.
that's what Cindy told me.
Thanks.
Yep.
Peter, we had a question. Where is the food distribution actually located?
So we're delivering in Ward 8. So we have several properties that are located in that area. Martha's Table either delivers it to the properties on certain days, and I can coordinate with anybody that's interested on which property is which day.
Okay.
Generally, we either pick it up or they deliver it.
Okay. We actually had another question for you. What will people do for food after the 3 weeks are done? Carrie, you can actually chime in if you like. I don't know if you're saying that we could do another initiative. I just want to make sure that I'm understanding your question. And it did that directed to Peter or to all panelists?
Yeah, people are still, I think as things are loosening up, people are able to get out now and purchase their own food. But this began, as you know, with everybody being quarantined. Certainly was more difficult, especially for the elderly people, to get out and about. It's become easier now. We've done it for 16 weeks. Well, this will be 16 weeks when we're done. Certainly, you could reach out to Martha's Table and see if there's a way to donate or help out. But that's the period that we donated for. Whether we do more, we'll see.
There we go.
Okay.
Yes, I couldn't unmute myself. That's why I typed. No, I just didn't know if Martha's Table was still going to deliver to all of your residents. Like, should we donate to Martha's Table or like that kind of thing?
Yeah, you can reach out to Martha's Table directly, and Kara, I can help you get in touch with the right people. But they always have food available for residents in Ward 8, and certainly I know they're accepting donations. So if Minkoff is interested, we can get you in touch with the right people.
Yeah, thanks. I'm sorry I haven't made it out. I'm still a little nervous about the whole intermingling thing.
We understand. everybody has their own, I guess, precautions that they need to take in their own safety. So we totally understand.
Hey, Peter and everyone, I created a doodle poll for the PMA Toastmasters Club for people to sign up. If you're interested in signing up or having me invite you to the doodle poll, I will go ahead and add my email here. And just send me an email and then I'll send you the link for the doodle poll. And it's easy. You can see where and when.
Fantastic. I want to just quickly take a quick moment to highlight a couple of things. There was a question that was posed about what people were doing in the communities at this time or ways that they found to give back. And we had a couple of mentions. One I want to make sure that I see who this is. So she put in a blood drive, and she said it was very easy. She was able to go to a hotel, and it was efficient and it was safe. I have another comment from Robin Davis. She said that ResCon provided complimentary preventative COVID-19 treatments to fire stations in each market as a way to give back to first responders. And then I'll just say one more before we move on to the next segment. Autumn Robinson, which we do want to acknowledge her because she is the chair of the membership committee. She participated in a trivia night where all of the registration fees went to the Baltimore station. The event also had several attendees that contributed to the donations. Oh, and I'll say one more because this is a plug for PMA's Community Service Committee. The PMA's Community Service Committee will be looking into partnering with the Summer Lunch Bunch again to distribute food to food insecure children in Fairfax County. So if you are interested in that, you can also get more information there. Do we have any other questions or comments before we move on? This is great, great, great. Okay, so without further ado, I'll introduce
Deshauna, you're going in and out.
Yeah, so I guess it's my turn to talk, right, Deshauna? I can't hear you. So I'll go ahead and start. When PMA asked us to think of things that were inspirational during this time, I think it was a little difficult to sit back and try to figure out, you know, what has inspired me personally through this time. I think I was overwhelmed with news and trying to keep up with what's going on and all the changes in our industry. I would say that during the first 4 weeks, we were beyond busy. We were blending our work and home life. There was not really a stop to work because we were just really changing every way that we do business and trying to still maintain these homes for people that are now 24/7 in our homes and all that comes with it. As many operators on this call will understand, like, you know, the increase in noise complaints, the increase in police presence because of domestic disputes, the increase of children just out and about in the communities. So all that, it was very difficult to see anything beyond that at that point in time. At the end of May, I made a conscious decision to turn off the news. We had gotten kind of our systems in place, and I took a moment to recognize that I will never have this opportunity again to spend with my kids. My kids are in lockdown. They're forced to be with me, whether they wanted to or not. And so it just really gave me an opportunity to pause and see the silver lining in all the madness. You know, learning how to balance everything is really difficult. We started working with an executive coach right before the pandemic, and I will tell you that she's been great in helping us really manage our way through this. I don't know that if we didn't have the pandemic that we wouldn't have been able to devote as much time with the executive coach. And yeah, we could have put in the time, but really put in the thoughtfulness behind that and take what the coach is saying and putting these things into practice. So I have found, you know, inspiration in that, and changing some minor things to see the results has been great. I think if you look anywhere, there's opportunities to see the good that's happening out there. I know many of you guys know Kimberly Scott. I don't know the story, but her mom has dementia. Her mom does not live close to her. Kimberly and her sister-in-law and her kids have been trying to help with care. And as a result of the pandemic, she started a nonprofit for caregivers to pay the rent. So any money you donate goes directly to those caregivers who are having a hard time paying rent. And I just find that that is so inspirational on so many levels. She's got different people helping her with this. you know, obviously all voluntary, 100% of the funds go directly to the source. There's no overhead. And she's doing out of a good place in her heart. As somebody who has, sorry, I may get a little teary, but as somebody who has a parent who has dementia, it's really, really difficult. And as you go through these things, you have to look for the good in every day because you don't know what the next day is going to bring you. So I just challenge everybody to just take a moment and be grateful for whatever it is that's positive in your life, and hope that that inspires you to look for something else positive the next day. And as Carrie said, I think there was a book, you know, changing your frame of mind to a more positive onset will prepare you for the next thing that comes along. So really just keeping focus on those things that are good in your life and that you're grateful for. We're all stuck in our homes, and as one manager said to me, you know, I'd rather, you know, be stuck in my home with the roof over my head than, you know, being outside on the streets with no roof. So she was, you know, okay with being, you know, quarantined to her house and working remotely and working through all those challenges. Because again, as operators, it's a whole different ball game. And don't think that people are just sitting back, you know, standing back on their laptop responding to residents. It's a lot more taxing than people think it is. Some people make it look easy, and that's great. And then some people, it just takes them a little bit to get the right rhythm and figure out how they're managing a team of 30 people remotely, and it's and managing the residents' concerns, and everybody's super anxious. So I just really, again, encourage everybody to try to find those positive things, be grateful for them, and hopefully they'll inspire you to do something different or better the next day.
Thank you so much, Elaine. Really, thank you for sharing that. Did you want to repeat again the initiative so that people can hear it, and we can also put it, I can put it in the chat.
It's called Do As We Do, and it's caregivers. It's through Kimberly Scott. I'll send you the link.
Okay.
But it's a great organization. And again, it helps our industry because we're helping caregivers who are maybe short because they can't take care of somebody that they used to take care of, or maybe that person passed away and they can't pay their rent and they're just a little short. It just helps them with those few extra dollars. And all those people are vetted and screened through Kimberly's partners as well. So, and all that's free.
Thank you. We have a couple of comments. We will go to Linda Silva. She actually was going back to the donation of blood. She said it is very easy to donate blood at Inova Blood Center. They have a few locations and you can sign up online. It is by appointment only, and they are limiting number of appointments to practice social distancing. Due to the current situation, Summer Lunch Bunch was not able to run this summer. So that's just an update from earlier because I mentioned the Summer Lunch Bunch. From Walter, he says, be thankful for what you have because it's probably more than what you think. Just his thoughts. Hank is asking a question. Yes, Hank. His question was, will this session be recorded? This is being recorded, and you will be able to access it via the PMA website at www.pma-dc.org. And, oh, yep, so Sarah has already provided the link for Kimberly's LinkedIn account. For those of you all who are listed, just do the chat line and link, and you will be able to go right to Kimberly's LinkedIn. Thank you, Sarah. At this time, will you all, is there any comments or questions for Elaine at this time specifically? You will be able to unmute yourself if you would like to talk.
Yeah, Elaine, this is Mitch. And first of all, I have a friend that whose mom is suffering from dementia and is in a home. So I'm going to take that information and forward it to her. So thank you for that. That's number one. And number two, I just wanted to second what you said about not watching the news, because for me, avoiding it as absolutely as much as possible. And I'm finding it does make a positive difference. for me, I'm getting out and doing exercising and bicycling, and I do feel a lot better as a result. And I was having a pretty hard time with the COVID situation earlier. So thank you for that.
You're welcome. Yeah, mental health is priority number one for all of us, right? Like if we're not in a good mental place, we can't help other people, we can't lead other people, we can't take care of people's homes.
I would like to offer an inspiration of just reminding ourselves to be present. Just like Elaine and Deborah and Peter, everyone pretty much said, you know, the things that, you know, that have been motivating them. And for me, it's, you know, since COVID-19, being able to be home with my girls and actually be present with them. And I have to remind myself sometimes because, you know, the phone, you have two phones, your personal and your work maybe. And then so something's always going off. There's always a notification. And, you know, it just draws your attention away. And we have gotten so close. I have a 16-year-old who's going into her junior year. So just her being home with virtual learning and all of that and being able to help her was a blessing. And then my daughter's 25. She said she'll be moving out this year. I don't want her to. But anyway, it's just so nice to have that quality time at home because we're not running here, running there, going to everybody's parties. And, you know, we're just here with each other and learning how to do even more together. And I'm learning and being better at being present with them. And even on these Zoom calls, you know, being present, you know, listening to what people say and keeping my video on. So I'm watching myself be present. So that's what I have to offer today.
That's awesome. I think it definitely, I think Deborah touched on it too with having the video on. Many of us are multitaskers, which makes us probably why we're attracted to this industry. So if you have the video on, it's very hard to do multiple things. And being present is certainly important, especially having those connections, whether they be virtual or in person.
Thanks for sharing, Robin. Do we have any others that would like to share? Again, you can unmute yourself to speak.
Good morning, everyone. I would actually love to share. I'm actually going to be present. Thank you for inspiring me and stop multitasking. This is all. I'm going to turn my camera on. Hi, everyone. So thank you for inspiring me to be present. I promise I have heard every word that has been said. And one thing that I am very often reminded of, and I wanted to share it with everyone else, is I see a lot of people here that I know. And number one, it's so great to see you and I miss you all. But number two is we forget to take care of ourselves too. We are very giving by nature. We're always give, but then we forget about ourselves and that we also need to kind of refill our buckets as well. So please don't forget to do something for yourself as well, because that would really help you in leading your team and everything it is that you're trying to give back to the community and to your team members and residents and customers and everyone that you just work with on a daily basis. Also, something, since we talked about motivational quotes, for those of you who know me, one of my favorite quotes is, life isn't about waiting for the storm to pass, it's about learning to dance in the rain. So a lot of things that are coming our way and are going to probably continue to come our way. So I'm looking forward to dancing with all of you through the storm until it passes, and then on and on and on. So much, much love to you all. My camera is going to stay on because I will be stop multitasking for the rest of this call. Love you all.
Thank you, Ala. Really appreciate you. Is there someone else that would like to share?
Hi, this is Janice Tippett from Millennium.
Hi, Janice.
I did the same thing, turned my camera on, so Deborah will call me out for multitasking like I call her out. I wanted to share from an owner perspective. You know, I celebrated 30 years 2 weeks ago owning my business. And, you know, in 30 years, just like most of us, never thought I'd be having to deal with a pandemic. And as an owner, you take on what has inspired me is my team. We had to make hard decisions for the first time in 30 years. I had to make some hard phone calls to make reduction in my team. And getting down to the core team, they have inspired me, every single one of them. The commitment to the company, the commitment to our customers, because I believe what a marketing company does is a very critical part of any business. You know, we help solve business problems. And so what inspires me every day, and actually has probably after 30 years given me a renewed energy that I haven't had in years, is my team going through this and that commitment. So, and my customers' commitment. And I know some of them had to make hard decisions in the work we provide them as they had to make budget adjustments. So that's what inspires me, as well as each one of you. And I love to read, and I love whether it's articles or podcasts or you know, books. And so that's why I just wanted to take a moment to say is I hope that each one of you, whether you're leading the team or you're an owner or you're a team member, that your owners have been inspired like I am by you all. So thank you for that.
Thank you, Janice. We appreciate you sharing.
I'll share. My name is Kelly Nugent. I work for Data Watch. And, you know, a lot of what people are doing on these calls is inspirational, but it's also, you know, I do watch the news at times because I try to listen to the good stuff. And, you know, there's a lot of good people doing a lot of great things in these challenging times. And, you know, to me is, you know, I'm still, I'm a people person, so I'm connecting with people that I know and just seeing how they're doing and asking how the family's doing, and you know, send them a happy birthday. Or, you know, I've had a couple of friends of mine that passed away the past couple of weeks, and just being there for these people, and you know, and showing up. And you know, I was at a funeral yesterday, and you know, I usually don't. I try to avoid them as I can, but it just, you know, just being there for the mother. I knew the girl from high school and in college, and then of course after a professional career, and she survived colon cancer for 6 years and stage 4. And just being there for everyone else. I mean, you know, the economy is crazy right now and this world is up in the air, but, you know, just, you know, we're going to make it through this thing. And, you know, I hate to say this, but, you know, it's really the faith in God. And it's going to carry us through all these challenging times. And I've got a soon to be 17-year-old son, and he's having some ups and downs in this thing, but you know, it's, you know, we're my wife and I are there for them, and you know, the struggles and being good role models, and you know, just being there for other people, and that's what it's about. And you know, little things, sending little text messages or calling people and just checking in on them. That's what it's all about. And also checking with your customers, potential customers, and you know, we all got sales goals. Some people on the call have sales goals and, you know, quotas, and we're having challenges in meeting them. But, you know, it's, you know, I've kind of looked this way is, you know, someone said earlier, as long as we got a roof over our head, you know, food in our belly, clothes in our back, you know, we're batting 1,000. And also having some kind of faith in a higher power or God, and, you know, just being grateful. And that's it. And just, you know, just being there and trying to be positive every day. And it's tough. You know, I have my ups and downs, but you know, I just try to realize that the glass is definitely half full, and you know, and just being there for other people. That's it.
Thank you so much for sharing. We really appreciate that. And our condolences to you and your friends and their families. Is there anyone else that would like to share at this time?
I'll say something.
Okay.
So most of you probably that I know, I live alone. So I've been really cautious to stay somewhat quarantined because my mom and my sister are highly at risk. And if I want to ever see my family, I have to stay healthy myself. So if anybody wants to do video, this is a great way to connect for some of us. I know not everybody likes video, and it does take some getting used to, but this is my main connection to people right now. So I value these calls and just the chats, everybody sharing. And for those of us that are used to being out with people all the time, this is not the most fun thing, but we are so lucky, as Walter said. And, you know, I heard someone respond to the question, how are you today? And said, I'm okay, better than most. And I thought that was a great way to look at it, because everyone on this call is probably better than most for the most part. And I think we just have to remind ourselves that while it may not be ideal, we're doing pretty okay right now. And like others have said, we will get through this. It may take time. I don't know that I'll be eating at restaurants with non-family members for a while, unless they put 6 by 6 foot tables at every restaurant, which we know is not going to happen. So, you know, we can do a virtual lunch, we can do a tailgate lunch if you want, but I think we all just have to stay connected, and it is important to be reaching out and seeing each other, because humans need this interaction. So I hope everybody's doing well, and know that I miss you all very much, and hope to see you face to face soon.
Thank you, Kara. We really appreciate you sharing. Chip, I got your message. You're up next.
Hello, is this thing on?
Yep, it's on.
Okay. Well, I want to tell you a story about what motivated us at Area Sign Spinners. I mean, like you all, our business was incredibly challenged. We used to keep, before COVID, we kept 71 spinners spinning signs 4 and 5 days a week. And we work with youth that really wouldn't have the opportunity to work and get paid more than minimum wage. We went down to nothing, and we're still just doing a few shifts a week as we move forward. But one thing that was interesting that happened is we're a Black-owned business, and our when Black Lives Matter started to take place, some of our spinners, unbeknownst to management, went in our office and designed and made some Black Lives Matter signs, and had been down spinning signs unbeknownst to anybody. And when I found out, I called them up and said, let's do a photo shoot down at in front of Ben's Chili Bowl. And while we were out there doing that, the owner's daughter-in-law came out and said, is that Michael from Arrow Sign Spinners? And she had seen us on Channel 4 earlier in the year. And she said, I was going to reach out to you. And we just happened to be there. Anyhow, we teamed up with her, and we had some PPP dollars that we had at that time we had to use by the end of June. And we could have paid management better money. But we took that money and we, am I on? Hello? Yep, still on. And we gave it to our sign spinners and got them down on BLM Plaza and down out in front of Lee's Florist and Ben's Chili Bowl. And we even sent some of them down to our Atlanta office that went to the Petterman Bridge down there because they want to change that name. But what it did was it got people who haven't been working out involved in something that's more than just business. It shows that we can take our work that we do and apply it to a purpose. And that got people out of their, sit at home and be in a funk. And it really helped our organization. And I'm really glad that our organization feels like there's something more than just making money and getting spinners on the street, but it's using what we do for a higher, better purpose than just us. And that's a motivating story.
Thank you, Chip. We appreciate you sharing. Is there anyone else that would like to share?
Sure, I would. Hey, everyone. I just wanted to piggyback off of what Kara said, and Elaine was supporting her parents. with this whole COVID situation and quarantining at home. My mom lives in Bal Harbor in Miami and can't get out, and we can't go to see her because we're afraid, you know, about contracting the virus before we get to her. She's 76. All that to say is that what I found is that Zoom, WhatsApp, video calling really has been helping my family, especially with some of the elderly who are high risk and can't just get out and go to the store and come and see others, just to pop up on their phone and they can see your face and you can see theirs. Not only was I just calling my mom, but then I started, you know, she was like, well, let's get my friend on the call. And so, you know, then we're talking to her friend Alice and her, and it just started a domino effect. And I'm the oldest of 5, and me and my brothers and sisters just started calling some of the elderly in our family, their friends, just checking in. It got to a point where we were ordering groceries for some of them because some of them had a need. And, you know, when you're self-sufficient all your life and then you get older and you realize that there are needs, sometimes there's a pride thing and we don't want to reach out and ask for help. And so this was a way that we found out that there are certain people in need and a way to answer the need. And but also to put like a human connection on situations when you really can't get your hands on them, you clearly can't hug them, but just to see that face and to see the expressions, and really, you know, what you say on the phone sometimes is one thing, but when you hear what they have to say, but then you see them saying it, it kind of gives you that, you know, emotional quotient that, you know, that sometimes is missing. And it's just really, really been helpful. I haven't loved Zoom. I don't like how I show up on screen, but you know, it's whatever, you know, because it's just really, really, really been invaluable, and just being able to connect with family again. And I really appreciate that. And I also don't watch the news. I may watch the news once a day, but I read a lot more than I watch, just because sometimes just the images and what they choose to show me, it's just, you know, can just make my brain go crazy. So I just kind of limit the amount of news and media that I have in, and it just has really, really helped with my well-being. And then working out like a crazy person has also helped as well. I wish everybody the best.
Thank you, Nkochi. We really appreciate you sharing. Is there anyone else that would like to share?
I'd like to share. Hi, everyone. Happy Wednesday. Thank you so much for being in this industry. I think as most of us, we've kind of fallen into this industry, you know, by happenstance. And what I really am thankful for, you know, I'm not thankful for COVID by any means, but I'm thankful for this happening because it's making us pull back, slow down, realize what's really important in our lives, which is our families, why we work, why we do what we do, why we're passionate about what we do, why we're in this industry, really, right? In taking care of people and what really matters. So that our industry is really an essential industry. We all knew this all along, but it's become really apparent this time around. And I think what we really need to do is use this time to bring that to the forefront, to realize how much we all bring to the table, how important we all are in our own ways, the value that we have and the value that everybody has, no matter where you come from, what your background is, whatever it is, we're all humans on this planet. And the other nice byproduct of us staying home is that nature is really coming back and the earth is trying to clean itself from all the dirt and pollution that we put into it. So I really think that this is a really good lesson for us as humans to say, hey, you know, what can we improve on? So why did this happen? And what is the silver lining? And how can we move forward in a positive way? And maybe it's also saying, stop, you know, running and making your job who you are. I went to my SHRM SCP class at Arundel Community College a few years ago. And our instructor asked us to introduce ourselves, and everybody was saying, oh, I do such and such, I'm, you know, such and such for this such and such company. And she's like, no, that's not what I'm asking you. who are you? You know, tell me about yourself. And I think that is a really good thing that we can actually go back now and figure out who we are, what drives us, what's our purpose here on this earth, and what are we contributing. And I think that's what COVID has brought to us. So thank you for being essential. Thank you for everything that you do. And let's support each other and support our residents and our tenants on a daily basis and see who's in need and what can we do, you know, on a daily basis. So thank you.
Thank you so much. So good to see you. We have time for probably about 2 more shares. We could take 2 more. Who would like to go next?
I'd like to go next. I'm driving right now, FYI, safely, no video. Anyway, this is Mitch, and one thing that I know about, which I will check, and if anybody else wants to get in on this, there is an ER doctor that is an expert on COVID, and she twice a week answers questions about COVID. And this is coming from an expert, it's not coming from the news. So if anybody wants to get on a Zoom call with her, it's a group Zoom call, and ask questions about COVID, you know, you could get an expert opinion about it. That's number one. And number two, I just want to thank everybody. And I found this very encouraging and inspirational. And I'm on my way to DC to go deliver food. So thank you, everyone. Take care.
Thanks for sharing, Mitch. We really appreciate that. Be safe.
Oh, yeah, I will. No problem. And I will send the link to Sarah, if that's okay, regarding the COVID Zoom call. Sarah, you okay with that?
I am, Mitch. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Take care, everyone.
You too, Mitch. Be safe.
Deshauna, can I have like 5 seconds?
Yeah, you sure
It
can.
really is 30 seconds. First of all, hi, everybody. It's wonderful to see you all in person. Some of you I got to see during this time. Peter, Carrie. I was having technical difficulties, so I'm on a little late. I'm not sure if you guys already talked about this, but Peter, Todd told me that you did talk about your drive, and we were happy to help, you know, participate in that. Unfortunately, this is my first year being able to co-chair our community service committee, and we have not been able to do much. But I wanted to share with you, and I think it was Michael was talking about finding a way outside of ourselves, because we're so lucky, we're so blessed to be able to have jobs and be able to be supported. So what Hawkins wanted to do was figure out a way we could help people in need. So we did a food drive as well, and we were able to sustain 30 families during this time. So we adopted those families, and we coordinated, bought the food, delivered the food to those 30 particular families to make sure that they could make it throughout this time. And what Todd is going to learn right now, I'm sitting beside him, is that I bought extra food that I have in my office, and I'm going to be sending that out, and he's going to love that, because that's who he is and that's who we are. And Peter will be joining you again next week, because we just ended our drive. And
Thanks,
so
Peter.
I just want to say how inspirational it is to be around you guys again. I feel supported. I was working from home for a couple of months, came back on my own because I was going stir crazy, and just getting back into doing what I normally would do. I'm hesitant to say normal, because I think this is our new normal. But I also wanted to say, if I can be a resource or help or support to anybody in any way, please don't hesitate to reach out. I'm happy to do it if I can. We are. So that's all.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for that 5 seconds.
No worries, no problem at all. And thank you, Hawkins, for, I'm gonna say Hawkins, the Hawkins team, for supporting those 30 families. And we definitely wish that that comes back to you all in your company for sure. Not that you're looking for that, but 30 families, that's a big, big thing. So thank you for being out in your communities. Well, everyone, we have 1 minute left. This has been very inspirational for myself, and I'm sure for the PMA staff and all of us on this call. Thank you all for being transparent, honest, and real. That is what this was all about. Hopefully you found something that was motivational, something that was inspirational, and something that you would decide or determine that you're going to do different after this call. If this was something that you enjoyed, there will be a survey that will be coming out and you would like to do this again. Please make sure that your voice is heard so that way we can host something like this again, so that give a platform for people to share. Thank you all for all that you do. Thank you all for participating, and thank you all for being PMA members. We appreciate you all, and if there's anything that PMA can do for you all, please don't hesitate to contact myself at Deshauna@pma-dc.org or contact Sarah at sarah@pma-dc.org. Thank you all. Be safe, be well, and we'll continue to have good thoughts and prayers for you and your families and your teams.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you and God bless.
Bye, everybody. God bless.
Wishing you all the best.
Everybody,
Bye,
be
it was
safe,
great
be well.
seeing you all.